Hi guys, it's Missy Menace. So obviously I'm not in class today. Basically, my, my daughter's doctor wants her to get a COVID test, and she wants the whole family to quarantine until the results come back. So yeah, I get to go through this because my youngest daughter has had like a runny nose all weekend. So fun times. So anyways, so I'm gonna go through energy and ecosystems with you guys. We already started covering food chains and food webs, right? So you created the Yellowstone food chain and food web. In this lesson, we're going to concentrate on the factors that affect primary productivity. All right, so make sure you understand what a trophic level is. It's each stage in a food chain or food web. So this is a shows a feeding relationship. So you see, you have different types of either producers or consumers. Your producers are going to be the organisms that are responsible for um, starting the energy process into the living system, right? So, for example, this plant right here is the base of this food chain. All right. You can have chemosynthesis in areas where there's no sunlight, and organisms make, usually bacteria are going to make food through chemicals rather than sunlight. Then you have your primary consumers, which are your herbivores that eat the producers. Your secondary consumers eat the primary consumers, and the tertiary consumers eat the secondary consumers. And then, of course, the decomposers basically break down everything. These are like your fungi, your bacteria. All right, so kind of like what I said here. Um, let's see if I didn't mention anything. Yep, pretty much. So yeah, you have your autotrophs, right? Your self feeders, and your heterotrophs. So you can have either photoautotrophy or chemoautotrophy, which is just referring to the way that they create their own food, right? Either through photosynthesis or chemosynthesis. All right, so food was give us a very complex picture of the feeding relationships, and so when ecologists are studying ecosystems, they normally study about the feeding relationships, and it shows the transfer of energy from one level to the next. All right. Obviously, they're going to. We spend a good amount of time learning about keystone species, and usually our predators are going to be, have a big role in keeping populations in check, so not one population goes overboard, tipping off the balance of that ecosystem. So here you have a trophic pyramid, and the trophic pyramid just shows the energy available at each trophic level. So always your producers are going to get the most amount of energy. They're going to absorb the energy from the sunlight, right? J stands for joules, or sometimes you'll see kJ, kilojoules. So obviously, the most energy is going to be found in the producer, then your primary consumers, and then your secondary. So you see here, there's almost like a loss of a passing of 10% of energy on average. Okay. So I know that in biology, you probably learned the rule of 10%. Here, keep in mind that it's not always 10%. It averages out to be about 10%. There's a lot of factors that play into how much energy efficiency actually gets transferred. All right, so here's a food chain, and of course, a food web is just composed of many food chains. All right, so let's do a little refresher here on photosynthesis and cell respiration. Photosynthesis is basically the process that plants use to transfer sunlight, inorganic carbon dioxide, water into something that's organic and that the organisms can use. So, how wonderful that the plants can bask in the sun, take a little air, and make sugar, right? So, this is a way of storing energy, right? So, this is a way of creating and storing energy, almost like think about it as um, like a solar panel in a house, capturing sun's energy and being able to use it. So make sure you know the formula for